Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina, I. Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I 210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
All right, so welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I'm Debbie Marcoux. I'm sorry we sent out the text message and we were a couple of minutes behind in getting this started. We had a couple of little computer problems. It's never a great thing when the keyboard stops working. So I do apologize. We're a little bit late. Hopefully there weren't too many of you that clicked to join and couldn't find us, didn't get in, didn't see us. But welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom. And each week I bring you all of the information, everything that is up to date and happening in the real estate and mortgage world. What's happening with, the Federal Reserve, what's going on with interest rates, what are home prices doing? Should you be buying a home right now? What are your opportunities and your options to do a refinance? We've talked home equity lines of credit. We've talked about all sorts of things. But today we're going to talk about our 2023 Homebuyer Workshop. I am going to be doing another one. I have talked week after week here recently about how this is a great time to buy. This is your year. If you don't own a home, prices are good. You can get great incentives from the sellers. And so I thought with all of that and trying to tell all of you that it is so important to own a home, that I would make sure that I also gave you that Homebuyer Workshop that I think is so important for you to understand the process, to know what do these terms mean and everything that goes along with it. So we are going to be doing a Homebuyer Workshop on March the 11th. That is Saturday, March the 11th at noon at 12 p.m. Pacific time. We will go live right here on YouTube, and anybody that wants to can join. However, that is like 3 weeks away. And so I know that it is very difficult to remember that that's what you wanted to do that day. So if you text workshop, WORKSHOP, so just one word, just workshop, to my phone number to 844-935-3634, you will get opted in, and you will receive a text message when we go live on Saturday, March the 11th at noon. And that again is Pacific time. So make sure that you guys do that. Text the word workshop to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Want to remind everybody that this is an interactive show. I'm going to read the comments. I'm going to answer the questions. I want you to tell me that you're here. I want you to tell me that you're part of the show. I want you to say hi, and I want you to ask questions. The more questions that you ask, the better that the show is, because trust me, if you have the question, many other people have the same question. So you are not only helping yourself, but you are helping everybody else along the way as well. So I can see that my dad jumps on. He says, hello, home watching you guys with Bosco and Smokey. So give the cats some love, Dad. Heather says, hi, everyone. Lori jumps in, says, hi there. Glad to see you, and it is working. Persistence is good. Lori, thank you so much. And CJ Gomez says, hello, everyone. CJ, thank you so much for joining and being part of the show. Again, my text message went out, and then we were about 2-3 minutes late of starting it. So hopefully we didn't have too many people that tried to join immediately. There was no show there. There was nothing going on, and then they left. So I do apologize for that. You can't help it when the keyboard stops working at the last minute. We tried changing batteries. That still didn't work. Had to go to the old school plug-in, and you know that did work. So thank goodness that we had a couple of those laying around. Everybody's so wireless these days. Everything is, Bluetooth. So with that, we are going to talk about home buying, right? We're going to talk about things that I'm going to cover in the workshop that are very important for you to know. I'm not going to go into detail into those items. I just want to kind of give you a glimpse of what the workshop will be about. If you have any questions whatsoever about refinancing, property, anything that might have come up over the last week that you're wondering about, please don't hesitate to ask. We can absolutely incorporate that into every show. And for everybody out there that doesn't get the text message, that wants to be part of the show, wants to be interactive, and wants to do it with us and ask those questions live, you have to text the word MOM to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. So as you can tell, we've got a little pattern going there. It is the exact same telephone number. That is the number that you call. That is the number that you text workshop if you'd like to be able to get a notification that the workshop has started. That is the number that you text mom if you want to get a notification once a week letting you know that we have gone live. So same phone number all the way around the board, 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. With that, we're going to take a super quick break because we jumped on here in kind of a fury. I'm going to grab some water, and then we're going to get right back to the show. So hold tight.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona, 0941504, Florida, LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, MLO 208-023, 7926, Illinois 031-005-8339, Missouri, North Carolina, I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington, MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom.
Mortgage Mom here. Hey, if you're a homeowner, you've probably got some equity in your home. Do you have debt that you need to get rid of? Well, give us a call. Let us take you through that blended rate calculator that I always talk about. Let's determine if it makes sense for you or if you should keep what you have. How do you do that? Well, book your phone consultation. Go to our website at mortgagemomradio.com and you can book your call right there. Once again, that's mortgagemomradio.com. All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and we are talking today about homeownership, buying, and I want to remind you guys, if you have refinance questions, please do not hesitate. You can absolutely ask those, and I will answer them for you. So during the break, I saw that CJ jumps on, and he does have a question, and it says BK13 was discharged in January 2022. I was told I couldn't buy or refinance for 3 years. Is that true? I'm in California. So it's actually the same question across the United States, across all 50 states. That is not true. If you had a Chapter 13 bankruptcy and you had been in it for at least 12 months and every payment had been made on time that you could prove to us, you could show us the payment history on the Chapter 13, you can purchase or refinance a home with court approval. So you do have to call your attorney and they do contact the court. This is something that is done all of the time. I know that sounds, very tedious or strenuous or very difficult to be able to do, but it's actually very easy. The attorneys are very aware of exactly how to do it when you have filed a bankruptcy. But as long as you have had those payments made on time and you can prove that, then we can absolutely do financing for you. Now, there's some caveats around that, of course. You still have to have the credit score. So we need to make sure that since the bankruptcy that you've rebuilt yourself, the credit score does not have to be nearly as high as some people might think. So with the program that I'm talking about, I would be referring to an FHA loan. FHA guidelines do allow you to get financing after 12 months. You do need to have typically about a 580 credit score or better. There are some banks that do the FHA financing that will allow you to go below 580, and we do have a couple of those lenders on board that we could look at. The problem with a credit score under 580 is that the interest rates start to get really expensive. Interest rates are based on risk. And so the risk is how much money are you putting down? How high is your credit score? What is your credit history? So based on risk determines the interest rate that you get for your mortgage. And so when you have a credit score that is below 580, even though we could maybe go even to a 550 with FHA, that interest rate starts to get very pricey. So we like to try to tell people 580 or better, because that is really going to give you those better interest rates. A 600 credit score will give you the very much better interest rate than 580, but 580 is still very doable. So as long as those payments have been made, your credit has been rebuilt, and then everything else qualifies, your income and your debt ratio and all those, things that go into how we approve a loan, then we could absolutely help you well before 3 years. Now, there are, conventional loans. Conventional loans are going to have a longer waiting period. A conventional loan would require at least 2 years with extenuating circumstances, or 3 years if you didn't have any extenuating circumstance. So, but bankruptcy absolutely does not keep you out, of being able to get that financing. So you should definitely reach out if that's something that you've been trying to do. That was a fantastic question, by the way. And so CJ also asks, what is current interest rate? So that is very, very difficult for me to answer, especially sitting here in the studio. Every single person, and this is why you guys will never hear me with a commercial that says, call now, 2.99%. Because it doesn't apply to everybody. Not everybody can get that deal. I don't want to have all those crazy disclaimers at the end of that commercial. Every single person is an individual. Every single person has a different credit score. They've got a different down payment amount. They're buying a different property type. So condominiums will have a little higher interest rate than a single family. A 2 to 4 unit property, so a duplex or 3 or 4 units, will have a higher interest rate than a condo. So it's very, very difficult for me to answer that question for you, not knowing your entire scenario. Every loan program has different starting base rates, and they all have different adjusters based on risk. But if I was to give you what is an average interest rate that I'm seeing today, I would say we're about 6.5%. And it really depends too on whether it's a purchase, if it's a refinance, if you're taking cash out, or you're just trying to do a rate and term refinance, pay off an existing mortgage balance with a new mortgage balance of the same size. So those things all come into factor when we say what the interest rate is. So for example, this show is all about homeownership. I want everybody watching this show to either be a homeowner or to become one, or to start working on their portfolio and buy their second property, buy their third property. So that is what is so important to me, because that is going to be one of those vehicles to get you through to retirement and to secure your future. And when we're talking about, the interest rates, if it's a purchase, because it's so important to me to buy, right? You should be out figuring out, what can I do to get into this market right now? If you are buying a home today, and this is why I say this is a really good year to do this. People that don't have to sell are not selling. People that have to sell are selling. So if you have to sell, then you are going to negotiate a little bit more than you would if you don't need to sell. So if you need to sell right now, it's a much better deal for the buyer and for the seller to sell the home at a little bit higher price to help keep the neighborhood and the housing stable, but to also give you incentives. The incentives can be used towards closing costs. They can be used towards buying down the interest rate. And so many times, the majority of the people the contracts that we're getting that are coming in, and the purchases that are happening, the majority of the buyers right now are asking the seller to pay 2% in closing costs towards incentives. The builders, brand new home builds, are doing the exact same thing, because the buyers are taking that incentive, they're taking that money, and instead of having to shell it out or come up with it out of pocket, they're putting that into the interest rate. They are buying the interest rate down to a lower rate than what the standard starting rate would be for the loan and for the program that they begin with. So when you buy that rate down, you get a lower interest rate, which helps with a monthly payment. It helps you to qualify for a little bit more. And when we're talking about getting 2% from the seller and being able to apply that all towards your, buy down of your interest rate. We're seeing people get their interest rates into the high fives and the low sixes, 6%, 6 and an eighth, 5.875. So it's hard, again, CJ, to answer that exact question, but I can give you an overall general response, assuming, no points to buy anything down, a 740 credit score, a single family residence, a loan balance under, let's call it 600,000. If your loan balance is within that conforming loan limit, I think that loan limit is actually up into the 726 number right now. I'll let Heidi or Carrie, one of the girls, actually jump in and remind me of what that exact conventional conforming loan number is. But in that scenario, you're looking at somewhere in the 6.5 range, maybe buying that rate down to 5.875, 6%, 6 and an eighth. And so when you think about that, a lot of people go, oh my goodness, the rates are so high. They're so high right now. And when in reality, these are actually very, very normal interest rates. I have been in this business since 1994. I have been writing home loans since 2002. And I would say that the majority of the years of all of those years, which I don't even want to count, but let's go back to 2002, moving forward, and even selling real estate in 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001. I would say that 6% is a very, very average interest rate of what I have seen over all my years in this business. And I do think that we're going to see that things are going to stabilize, and that's going to probably be about where things would come back down to. So remember that I did mention a couple of weeks back that, we are expecting most of the financial advisors that are out there. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm bringing you guys the news based on what I know of the market from my experience and my years in the business, and giving you my personal opinions. But from what most of the financial analysts are saying, is that they're expecting interest rates to be about 7.5 to 8.5% by the end of this year, with us then seeing a turnaround where interest rates will then start to come back down. When they come back down, I think that we're going to see a normal settling probably again in this 6% range. So right now you could be out looking for a home, getting into that 6% range before interest rates go up a little bit further. And, you're good to go. You are ready to move forward from there. So things to think about, but that is why we talk homeownership. And again, CJ, thank you so much for the question. That was awesome. And I guarantee that there is somebody out there who has had a bankruptcy that doesn't believe that they could get financing right now. They could be 2 years into their 5-year repayment plan, and they don't even know that buying a home is something that could be possible for them right now. So thank you again for that question. That was awesome. Carrie says, what are you looking for? Conforming loan limit? Sorry, I was talking to a client. You keep talking to those clients, Carrie. That's way more important than tuning into my show. Yes, just remind me what our new conforming loan limit moved to for 2023. I want to say it went up, and it went up a lot, but I'm spacing. I'm in the studio. I don't have it right in front of me, and I'm having one of those moments. So if you could look that up for us, Carrie, that'd be phenomenal. With that, we are going to take a super quick break. And when we get back, we're going to keep talking homeownership and some of the points that I am going to talk about when I do the workshop. It is on March the 11th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please make sure that you text the word workshop. Nothing else, not I want to attend, sign me up, just workshop. The word workshop. Text that word to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. What that will do is it will remind you. I will send out a text message when we go live on YouTube on that day at that time, just to remind you that we're on and we're live, and that way you can jump in. You could be cleaning your home, you could be cleaning your car, you could be at the grocery store shopping, you could be doing so many things because it is YouTube. So you can pull it up on your phone, you can listen, and you can continue to do and get other things done at the exact same time. So that multitasking is always fantastic. So make sure so that you get that announcement, you get that reminder, you can jump in and you can watch. It is text the word workshop to 844-935-3634. 844-935-3634. That's 844 we lend for you. And I do want to, since we were talking bankruptcy with CJ's amazing question, I do want to invite anybody at all who has had a bankruptcy, a Chapter 7, a Chapter 13, a Chapter 11. If you've had a bankruptcy and you thought that homeownership was not within the parameters right now for you, I'm going to invite you to call, even if you've been thinking about a refinance, call our office and talk to us. Go to my website, get yourself an appointment, schedule a consultation. Let us help you to determine if you would be a candidate, if you would be eligible for financing right now, because I assure you, there are many, many, many of you who would be eligible who just don't know that. You just don't think that you can. So please do that. You can go to mortgagemomradio.com and you can book yourself an appointment on the calendar. You can call the office and you can either get a direct transfer if we're in, or you can leave a message. You can schedule an appointment if everyone is on the phone, but get yourself a consultation. It is free. We are friendly. We are not pushy. We will talk to you about you and your own personal situation, and we will let you know what your options and opportunities are. So once again, that number is 844-935-3634. That's 844 we lend for you. WELEND and the number 4. So Carrie did answer my question, 726,000. And that is exactly what I said. I'm like, it's 726. Changes every single year. And, you know, sometimes like in my head, I was still thinking about where the loan limits were for 2020. So unfortunately, thank you, Carrie, so much for making sure that I gave everybody the right information. I surely do appreciate that. Heather says, hi, Lori. So they're talking to each other on the chat. And with that, I want to remind everybody, this is interactive. You guys can talk to each other. You can ask me your questions. I'm going to read them out loud and answer them for you. If you are listening at a later date by podcast or by YouTube or by radio, remember that what you're listening to has already happened. You weren't part of the live show. We want you to be part of the live show. So make sure that you do either subscribe to the channel or you get your text notification. It's once a week to let you know that we've gone live. Seems to be a little bit more reliable than the subscription on the YouTube channel, because I don't always get that notification I should when I subscribe to a channel. So text MOM, MOM, to 844-935-3634. Like I said, same phone number for everything. Text MOM to subscribe to weekly text messages to know the show's gone live. Text WORKSHOP to the same phone number so that you get that text message when I do the next workshop. Or you can use that same phone number to call our office. Anyway, stay tuned. I said I was going to break. I didn't stop. We'll be right back.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions and MLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom.
Mortgage Mom here. Have you been thinking about buying your first home and you just don't know where to get started? Well, book a phone consultation with either one of my loan officers or even me. How do you do that? Well, go to our website. Go to mortgagemomradio.com. Right there, you'll see a book phone consultation and get on the books. Talk with us. Let's get you started from beginning to end. We'll walk you through that process. That's mortgagemomradio.com.
She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call Mom.
Hi, this is Debbie Marcoux, host of the Mortgage Mom Radio Show. And as you know, I'm always trying to make sure that my listeners are saving a buck. Well, there's a new store in town. It's called Runaway Soul. You can go to their website, runawaysoul.com. What do they carry? Well, they carry all of those hard-to-find sneakers, Nikes, Jordans, Adidas, as well as hats. So if you're a sports fanatic and you love those baseball hats, check out their team hats that they have online. And they're also carrying collectibles. So Hot Wheels, Legos, Funko Pops, you name it, they've probably got it. So go to their website, check them out at runawaysoul.com. All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and every week I'm bringing you guys all of the up-to-date information about the real estate and the mortgage market. Anything that we can do to save you guys some money right now, create homeownership, create long-term security for you and your family. That is what we are all about. We are going to be doing another Homebuyer Workshop. If you have not done one with me before, you've not been part of it, we are doing a Homebuyer Workshop for all of you that need to buy a home. We've got to get you guys prepared, and we need to get you ready. And it is so important that you understand the transaction. The whole process of buying a home can be very, very overwhelming, very intimidating, and many people will go about it in the wrong way. They start looking, they see a house, they call a realtor, they go look at it, they fall in love, they want to write an offer, and they don't even have their financing put into place, and this can create stress. On top of that, they have no idea what is happening throughout the process. They have no clue what anybody is talking about as they're using all of those funny terms that they have never heard before. And that is not to say that anybody is bad for not knowing terms that we use. We talk in the mortgage and real estate world, we talk in acronyms that nobody would know unless they were part of our world. But it becomes reality. It becomes something that we do without even thinking twice. We don't mean to do it. And you're sitting there as a buyer going, what in the world are they talking about? So the Homebuyer Workshop is very, very nice. It's going to give you everything you need to know from the beginning of the loan process all the way to the end. From, what do these terms mean? So we're going to start with many of the words that are used quite frequently throughout a transaction so that you understand what the definition is of the word, which will make more sense when you hear the rest of the sentence. Then we're going to move into, what kinds of loans are there? When you guys hear me, and again, I probably talk in a lot of acronyms and you're listening to me, whether it's podcast or here on YouTube or on radio, you're hearing me week after week talk about FHA, VA, conventional, and you're going, some people really get it, right? They've bought a home before, they've been through the process, and it makes sense what I'm talking about. And, other people are going, what is she talking about? So we're going to bring you through all of those different loan programs. There's FHA loans, there's VA loans, USDA loans, conventional loans, jumbo loans, non-QM loans, bank statement loans, DSCR loans. We're going to take you through what all of these different loan types are, and then what is the qualifying around them, and why might one type of loan program be better for you personally than maybe the others, and how do we determine which loan program is going to work when we say, hey, you're pre-approved. Then we're going to talk about getting pre-approved and what kind of documentation do we need from you for the pre-approval, and what if you're self-employed, what do you have to show us versus if you're not. We're going to talk about all of those things. That's very, very important. Then we're going to get into closing costs. What are closing costs? What do they cost? What are they for? Who am I paying when I write that check? We're going to talk about appraisals and inspections. That's another big one that trips a lot of people up because they don't understand the whole loan process. They don't understand the whole buying, purchasing process. So there's things that you're going to pay, that have nothing to do with the loan at all, which is an inspection, maybe many inspections, and then you're going to pay for an appraisal that does have to do with your loan, and no, your appraiser is not your inspector. So we're going to kind of break that down for you and talk about that as well. We're going to talk about credit. So where does your credit score come from? What's the best way to improve your credit score? What should those balances be on those credit cards that you have to get to the very highest credit score that you can get to? What are some things that you can do to try to make your credit report better? So do you have some collections? Do you have, some charge-offs? Are there things on your credit report that are less favorable? And many of us have. And then what can you do to try to clean that credit up? So we're going to talk about that because, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, your credit really has everything to do with the interest rate that you get. the higher your credit score is, the better the interest rate that is offered. And if your credit score is at a lower number, then that interest rate is not going to be so favorable. And if anything, it's going to start getting very, very high. And you don't want to have to pay with a higher interest rate than what is necessary. So we're going to talk about credit. Credit is very, very important. We're going to talk about debt ratios. A lot of people, I say that word all the time. You hear DTI, debt ratio. Okay, what in the heck does that mean? And so we're going to talk about debt ratio. And so what are some of the ways that we can actually improve the debt ratio? What are some of the ways that we get creative as loan officers in the industry in trying to help you to qualify for more? So we're going to get into a lot of things that you'll never get from this actual show, listening to this 1 hour that I do every week, because it's really way more detailed than that. A workshop is way more detailed. It's going to give you the nitty gritty. And by the time that you are done attending the workshop, which again is virtual, it's all YouTube. We all love YouTube. You could do it while you're shopping at the store, cleaning your house. You can do it multitasking, doing many different things, but you're sitting there and you're listening and you're absorbing and you're learning. And by the end of the workshop, it is all going to make so much more sense. And you are going to feel well prepared, much, much more prepared than you would have been if you started it the old school way of, hey, I see a house on my street I really like. I wonder what it's worth. Cool. Maybe I'll have that real estate agent show it to me. Awesome. How are you going to write an offer? Do you have a pre-approval letter? No. Do you have a lender? No. Okay. Well, you're going to have to get one. So call my guy. Okay. So now you don't know if her guy or his guy is a good guy, right? So this is going to get you prepared. It's going to get you moving forward in the right direction from the beginning and walking into the transaction feeling much more confident and ready to do this new purchase of yours. So even towards the end of the workshop, which is really, really important, we're going to talk about, okay, now we've got you pre-approved. Now what? So now it's time to select a real estate agent to work with. How do you pick the right real estate agent? What are some of the important things that you look for when interviewing a realtor to choose that they're the realtor for you? Then we're going to talk about once you get into escrow. So you found the right realtor, they took you out, they showed you properties, you wrote an offer, and now you're in escrow. So now what are the steps you're in escrow? What do you need to do? There's deposits that need to be wired, inspections that need to be ordered, appraisals that need to be ordered, interest rates that need to be locked. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of commotion happening once you get in to that escrow and things are opening up and they're flying and they're moving very, very quick. So we want to make sure that you are prepared for that at that point and you are ready to go and you are firing on all cylinders. One of the things that I can tell you that I've heard for year after year, ever since I got into this business, again, I was just a young buck in 94 when I started working in real estate. I've heard it over and over again throughout all of these years, 29 years. I just aged myself, 29 years. Buying a home is well up there as far as stress levels. Buying a home is one of the most stressful things that you will go through in life outside of a divorce or a death. So if you think about those three things as being the most stressful thing that you'll ever do, I do hope that you invest your time and yourself into joining us for this workshop, because you don't want that stress. Purchasing a home should be exciting. You should be online shopping for decor and how do you want to, set it up, and where do you want to put the sofa, and where's the blender going to go on the countertop, or is it going to go in the cabinet? These are things that you should be thinking about with excitement when you enter into contract on a home. It should not be, we're hitting bumps in the road. So sorry, but we couldn't get your loan approved and you just spent a bunch of money on inspections and appraisals and we're so sorry, but we can't refund you because those people did the work and they have to get paid. You don't want those bumps in the roads. You don't want that stress. You don't want to be wondering from the time that the escrow opens if you're going to be able to pull this off. And with every time that the phone rings, you don't want to, or the text message comes across from your loan officer or your real estate agent, you don't want to be wondering, oh my goodness, is this bad news? Is this bad news? You want to know from the beginning that you've done it all right. You are fully prepared. You are pre-approved. You have your money ready to go. Everything has been verified in advance, and there is nothing that is going to give you a hiccup in the middle to ruin the experience that you are in. You want it to be a fabulous experience, and it's not going to be if you are not prepared. So the workshop is free. I am doing it for you, no cost. I don't charge. Trust me, I've been doing this for a very long time. I could easily create some sort of workshop and I could charge you thousands of dollars. I used to do workshops in person all the time. I would go out to, centers, and we would have 50, 100, 150 people in the room to listen to me talk about buying a home. And we didn't charge then, and I'm not going to charge now. But at those workshops, I used to have, people that would come out to learn. I would have listeners come out and they would ask questions and they would make comments and statements, and they would say, I just got more out of this workshop from you in the 3 hours that I was here than I got on this, seminar that I went to that I spent thousands of dollars to go to, and I walked away with nothing out of it but an empty pocketbook. And I used to think, my goodness, that is money that they could have used towards down payment or towards closing costs. So I'm doing it for free for you guys. I'm delivering it to you. I'm giving you the knowledge. I'm giving you my time. I'm giving you my Saturday. I'm giving you 3 hours. And trust me, 3 hours is not 3 hours. It is 3 hours, on YouTube in front of the camera. But it is all of the work that goes into it beginning and all of the work to break it all down at the end. And so it's a long day for me, and I'm doing this for you because I love to do it and because I want you prepared. So the least that you could do is give yourself a free gift of 3 hours. Give yourself the time to learn and to become knowledgeable and to get the information that you need to have a very happy and fun, exciting time during a home purchase. Now, this is not also for just a first-time home buyer. If you have not bought a home in the last 3+ years, and I'm going to say 3+ years because things have changed significantly. They change all the time. I learn something new every single day. Guidelines change on every single loan program. Contracts, real estate contracts and forms change every year, sometimes more. So if you haven't done it in 3+ years and you're thinking about possibly doing it again, this is still a great refresher course for you to jump in and attend. And if I'm talking about something that you already know the answers, then tune me out. Again, you're multitasking. It's on YouTube. We all watch YouTube on our phones. Very few of us actually pull up YouTube on our TV. And if you want to pull me up on your TV, I would love that. But very, very few of us do that. We've got it rolling on our cell phone and we're watching videos, right? And it's very easy to put your headbuds in and put the phone in your back pocket. If you want to see something on one of the slides or one of the screens that I'm doing, then it's obviously you can pull the phone out and look at it. But most of it is for you to listen and to learn. And I do hope that you all take advantage and you jump on that workshop. So again, it is going to be on March the 11th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, I know, for example, Arizona's on our time, and then they aren't, and then they are, and then they aren't. So remember, Arizona, you guys are an hour ahead of us, which means that I'm doing it at 1 p.m. Your time. So 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, March the 11th. And if you want that text message, you want to make sure that you remember to jump on and to join, then text the word workshop to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Just the word workshop, not I want to attend, not subscribe me. Workshop. That is the only word, workshop. And that will get you opted in to get that text message when we go live so that you can join in and participate. Now, remember, it's going to be the same as these shows are that I do once a week here. You get to ask your questions right live in the feed. And while you're there learning with everybody else, they get to see your question. They get to hear me answer the question. So it is really a phenomenal day. I love it when I do these. I don't do very many of them. I did 2 last year in 2022. I did a workshop series in 2020 and 2021 where I actually just broke down each individual slide over many, many days. And I thought, well, maybe that might be a little bit easier for people because they could just, jump in and see one, and it's, 20 minutes at a time. But what I actually found is that we get a lot more participation, a lot more interaction, and we get a much deeper dive and knowledge depth when we do it all at one time from beginning to end, with everybody learning and asking their questions at the same time. It really becomes a very, very nice afternoon, and you all walk away feeling much better about the transaction. So with that, again, I want to remind everybody, it is the same phone number to reach us in every capacity. So on Monday, I did a show, and many of you guys didn't know I did a show because I didn't actually send the text out. I promise, I will never spam you. When I say you get one a week, that is it, you get one a week. But I decided to go on Monday and do a quick show, and I just on a whim, I just felt like doing an extra one this week. So if you do subscribe to YouTube and to my channel, then you would have known that I did jump on without the text. But if you want to be able to interact, and you want to be able to watch the show live every week, and you want to be able to ask your questions, the same phone number for everything. We're trying to make it easy. You can opt yourself in by texting the word mom to my phone number. You can opt yourself in for the workshop notification by texting workshop to my same phone number. You can you can call the same telephone number. So we're trying to make it so that it's simple. It's one shot for you to get in touch with us. So it's 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. So one thing I do want to ask everybody is, I have done many home buyer workshops. So I'm teaching you guys how to buy a home, get through that process like we've talked about throughout this show so far. I've never actually done a refinance workshop. And I think that there's probably a good amount of people who would be interested in a refinance workshop. So I would like to do a poll. I'd like to see if that's something that would be worth my time to put together the workshop, put together the PowerPoint presentation, and to take one of my weekend days to devote to refinances. I would love it if you think that you'd be interested, you'd want to join in on a refinance workshop. So how much equity do you have? How much cash out are you allowed to pull? How much credit do you need? What about income? What about debt? So, things that I could go into. What can you use the cash for? How much cash would be available to you? What kind of properties can we refinance? What if you have an investment property? Should you do a HELOC instead? So if you think that doing or joining a refinance workshop would be something that you would do, because I'm trying to get a poll right now, I would absolutely love it if you would text the word refinance to my same phone number, 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. That text message is not opting you into anything. I am truly using it more as a polling. I want to see how many people will actually send me a text message with the word refinance, just so that I can get an idea of whether or not it would be something that would be worthwhile. Obviously, I don't want to do an entire show and an entire, 2-3 hours on refinancing and what it's all about and how does it work and do your property taxes increase? And trust me, there are so many people that have questions about doing a refinance. What if I need to change title? What if I need to add somebody to title? What if I want to buy my mom's house? She's willing to sell it to me. Is that a refinance or is that a purchase? So, there's so much good that could come out of a refinance workshop that I would love to deliver it and give it to you. But it does take me probably a solid, I would say, week to actually create a workshop. And then obviously my time and the hours spent with you guys, coming in on a weekend and spending the hours here in the studio and making sure that I'm delivering it to you. So I want to make sure that it is something that would be wanted and needed, and that it would be, people would join. I don't want to sit here and do a workshop for hours with staring at the computer screen to myself and nobody's interested or cares. So if you guys could please participate, please. If you think you would be interested in joining a refinance workshop, please text the word refinance to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Remember, that's our phone number, so you guys can give us a call at that number too. We'd love to talk to you, but I am hoping that I can get some of you guys to respond, because I would love to bring that content to you. I think it would be a fabulous workshop to deliver. And with that, I am going to grab some water, and we'll be right back.
Debbie Marcoux, licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions and MLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom.
Mortgage Mom here. Hey, have you been thinking about doing some home improvements or renovations to your home? Well, property values are up and interest rates are down. Why not explore whether that's something that you can do? How do you do that? Well, get on the books. Get a phone consultation with us. What do? Go to mortgagemomradio.com and book your appointment right there. That's mortgagemomradio.com.
She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call Mom.
Hi, this is Debbie Marcoux, host of the Mortgage Mom Radio Show. And as you know, I'm always trying to make sure that my listeners are saving a buck. Well, there's a new store in town. It's called Runaway Soul. You can go to their website, runawaysoul.com. What do they carry? Well, they carry all of those hard-to-find sneakers, Nikes, Jordans, Adidas, as well as hats. So if you're a sports fanatic and you love those baseball hats, check out their team hats that they have online. And they're also carrying collectibles. So Hot Wheels, Legos, Funko Pops, you name it, they've probably got it. So go to their website, check them out at runawaysoul.com. All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I'm Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom. Today we talked about, interest rates. Somebody asked me, what is the interest rate today? We talked about Chapter 13 bankruptcy and whether you could get financing with a Chapter 13. And the answer was yes. But if you missed that part, go back to the beginning and re-listen. CJ was definitely my number one fan today, asking me the questions that brought lots of new information to you that you may not have heard me talk about before. So thank you again, CJ. That was amazing. We are doing the Homebuyer Workshop. So I've talked about all of the things that you are going to get out of that workshop, and please join, guys. If you haven't bought a home before and you're thinking about possibly doing it, even if it's a year or two down the road, you need to start somewhere. You need to learn the ins and outs. You need to know what kind of money that you need for a down payment. You need to know what your credit score needs to be. Those are all very, very important things. And if you don't have that game plan, if you don't know what the milestones are that you need to get there, then you never get there. And that's just the bottom line. So join us for that workshop. That, I talked about that as well. And you guys can, it's on Saturday, March the 11th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Love to see you all there. I begged and pleaded for you guys to text me the word refinance if you think that joining a refinance workshop would be something that you would be interested in. That's going to give me an idea as to whether or not it would be good for me to go ahead and, put that together for you to be able to join. It won't opt you in. It won't do anything to you other than just, it's basically a poll getting me that information. And so I just wanted to say thank you again so much to everybody that does listen to the show. I love that you guys do get on here. I was a little bit late, sent out that text message that goes out once a week. We had some keyboard issues that we couldn't get if you can't type on the keyboard, you can't get the computer to start. So we had to replace the keyboard and then get started. So we started a couple minutes late for this show, but I do want to thank everybody that does join every week and does get on here and does work with me. I want to remind everybody that this is an interactive show. You are more than welcome to ask me your questions, put them into the feed. I will answer them for you. Make sure that you guys are watching when we're doing it live. That is the easiest way for me to answer those questions. It is difficult. I'm going to tell you, just like I mentioned before, I don't always get all of the notifications that I should. I watch a lot of YouTube myself personally. It's kind of my zone out time when I'm, after work at home and relaxing, or on a weekend. And, we've got an extra hour or so and the kids watching cartoons and I'm just kind of zoning out to my YouTube. I don't get a lot of the notifications that the channels that I've subscribed to have gone live or that they've uploaded a new video. And I don't know why that is. I subscribe to them all. I click on the notification bell. I click the all button. And for some reason, I don't get all of those notifications. I also do not get all of the notifications of listeners watching the YouTube at a later date and putting comments into the feed. So it might look like maybe I'm not responding, and I don't mean to do that. I'm not getting a notification, and I've been doing these live shows now for over 2 years. And so there's so many videos, there'd be no way for me to go back to every video to try to monitor which videos might have gotten comments. So I do want to apologize if you've ever asked a question on YouTube at a later date, rewatching a show or watching it, when we weren't live, and I didn't answer a question. I want to apologize for that. But to make sure that that doesn't happen, number one, you can always contact me. You can send me an email. You can go to the website. You can hit the contact us form. If you're using my phone app, like I told everybody on Monday to do, you can literally send me an email right through the phone app. But let me know, ask me your questions. I am more than happy to answer them, or get on when we're live. And the best way to know that you are not going to miss a show is to text the word MOM to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend For You. WELEND and the number 4. So text the word MOM. That'll get you one text message a week. I promise I won't spam you. Like I mentioned before, I did a show this Monday and nobody knew I did the show. So unless you were subscribed from YouTube and something came up and told you there was a show there was no way for you to know that I had done a show on Monday, because I've promised over and over again I won't spam you and I will only send you one text message per week. But you will get one text message per week so that you can click on it. You can click right on the link. It'll take you right into YouTube and you can join us and you can be interactive with us. Now, really quick here to finish up the show, because we're just about done. I do have to do a little plug for my son. So my son Manny, my son Mikey, and my husband Shane have all started a brand new business. That is why you guys are hearing the commercials that I ran for Runaway Soul. They are selling all of the hot items that everybody has been looking for. All of those Nikes, all of the Dunks and the Jordans and your New Balances and your Asics, all of the hot shoes that are hard to get your hands on. They do have a website. It is called runawaysoul.com. They price everything at very competitive prices. They are pretty much matching the last sold price on StockX or GOAT, and you're not getting all of those seller fees. Everything that they buy is direct, so everything is authentic, and you've even got some discount codes when you go to the website to get things for even less expensive. So it's 2-day shipping, free shipping, everything's authentic, and your price is as low as you can get. So check out runawaysoul.com. I do have to give them that little pitch. Since I'm on here, since I've got the listener base, I hope you guys do support my family and their new business. Again, it's called runawaysoul.com. They've got all those Nikes. They've got tons of Funko Pops, Hot Wheels, and baseball caps for days. If you guys are baseball cap lovers, you love your LA Dodger hats, you like your LA Angels, or you like a Houston Astros fan or a Chicago Cubs fan, they have got so many styles and all of the name brands, all the Hat Clubs and Sports World 165s and Fan Treasures, My Fitteds, all that good stuff. So check them out. I do know that they always run a really cool discount on the baseball caps as well. So check it out, runawaysoul.com. With that, that's the end of my hour. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the Homebuyer Workshop. That's March 11th at 12 noon, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's 12 p.m. my time, California time, on March the 11th. That is a Saturday. Make sure that you guys text the word workshop to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend For You. WELEND and the number 4. Call the office if you'd like to get a personal consultation. Text that number refinance if you'd like to see me do a workshop about refinancing. And text that word MOM, same phone number, text the word MOM if you'd like to opt into getting a text message once per week to let you know that I've gone live, and you guys can get interactive with the show. And with that, the Mortgage Mom is out. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. Talk to you real soon.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 20802379926, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.